Hi, welcome to my channel. In this video I'd like to show you how to paint the kitchen, but this can refer to any room in the house. So basically I'm gonna paint the ceiling that is firstly plastered, the coving between the walls and the ceiling, walls as well, and then some wooden bits like skirting boards and architrave. So I'm going to show you which paint you can use for the kitchen, for the wood, and also how to organize the work so you know which bit you can paint first, which one the last. The walls are not perfect, there are some holes in it, some wall plugs which need to be filled up, so I'm gonna show you how to do it as well. So as you see, the ceiling was skimmed about a week ago. Then we've got the walls, which is kind of magnolia. There was some cupboard here, so you still see the plugs. There was a bit of worktop, so I need to scrape this, fill these holes. There was a cupboard here as well, so this needs to be filled. And we've got 3 colors of paints here. Now behind the bins, the wall is really dirty. The paint before use was not washable at all. And on this wall I've got some crack. Basically the plaster is peeling off. See, as you touch it, there's a big hole, so I'm gonna fill it as well. So on this wall, before I put any filler, I need to paint it with PVA. So the filler will stick to the wall properly. So for the filling holes and cracks, I'm using the polyfiller. I've got a bit of water in here, as you see, and I'll just mix it to a creamy consistency. Now filling the holes. One layer is never enough, so you need to wait it till dry, then sand it a bit and put another layer. Put here as well. painting the ceiling, as this is new plaster, I'm gonna use the simple emulsion, matte white for walls and ceiling. I'm gonna dilute it with water, 3 parts of paint, 1 part of water, so it's not so thick and it's easy spreadable on the ceiling. So this is the first coat, and the second coat I'm gonna use the washable Easy Care, especially for kitchen, that is stain and grease resistant. First, obviously, we do the coving on the top and on the bottom. If you want to paint the walls as well, so don't worry about spreading the paint onto the walls, as then you will cover all of this, the edge under the coving, and then you will cut it when you start painting the walls anyway. So now the polyfiller that I applied before on this crack and other bits is completely dry. So now I'm gonna sand it down and apply another thin coat of polyfiller. To sand it down, I'm using 80 grit sandpaper. You can use 120 grade if you like. I prefer this one, so I'm gonna use this one. For filling the gaps in all corners, like between wall and wall, skirting and the wall, or coving and ceiling, coving and wall, I'm using decorator's caulk. It's multi-purpose, white, and it's paintable. So basically when you apply it, you have to wait a few hours and then you can paint it over. Obviously to apply it, I'm using a mastic gun. You need to smooth it so there is no gap anymore. Wait a few hours and then you can paint it over. The paint I'm gonna use for the walls is this one. I know it states for bathrooms, but the most important thing for me is that it's washable and scrubbable. Coverage 3 stars, so probably I need to put 2 coats on the walls. Wipeability 5 stars, that's what I wanted. And the finish soft sheen, so it's a little bit shiny. The color is white, so I'm gonna I want on the walls just a little bit gray, really very light gray. So I bought a sample pot of the black paint. So I'm gonna mix it together and hope I get the desired color. Cutting the edges on the walls between the coving and the wall or window and the wall, I'm using this small stained paint brush. It's quite thin and it's for the first cutting it's very easy, as this must be accurate. The second time I'm cutting the edges, I'm using this brush. It's a bit thicker, but as you've got the first coat, so you can use this one. woodwork like a skirting board or architrave, I'm using the Dulux Quick Dry Eggshell. It's a low sheen paint. You can touch dry in 1 hour, you can overpaint it again in a few hours. So on the floor I'm using this blue masking tape. First, obviously, we need to sand it properly. I'm using the same 80 grit sandpaper. So once more, when you paint the kitchen, first obviously you do the coving and the ceiling. Don't worry about the walls if you spread the paint during painting the ceiling, as then you cut off the edges with the wall paint. And also when you do the wall painting, don't worry about the architrave and skirting, as when you do the skirting, you're gonna cut off the skirting from the walls. Thank you for watching. So if you like my videos, please subscribe to my channel for more videos. Thanks a lot.